So, today we're gonna, again, yes, this is English, go through Mindwise, the book by the civis.org site. It's gonna be an amazing thing, even though there is a lot of things that I just don't understand, which is not that of a good thing, most often. But we're gonna see, we're gonna see, and we're gonna notice, and we are then gonna decide what is important and what is not important, as always. And there is no sound, yes, in terms of the intro, I'm sorry. But yeah, with that being said, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development Tactics podcast. And I'm super duper happy to be here. And I'm also super duper happy to go through this book because I'm looking forward to just knowing more, knowing better, knowing whatever, you know? But yeah, let's just start. Those living in collectivist, what is collectivist? Collectivist cultures and those generally more concerned with social norms and interpersonal harmony, such as in Southeast Asia, are, broadly speaking, more likely to recognize when people's actions reflect actions reflect the dictates of their roles and environments, rather than their corresponding states of mind, compared to people in cultures that place an emphasis on individual freedom and choice. I see. Most people trust what others tell them, even when they might be lying, which I really am not sure of. I think it is like 50-50. It really heavily depends on the person. I mean, if it is your best friend, then you're more likely to just believe in whatever this person is saying, of course. But yeah. The difficulty of disbelieving behavior that we naturally take at face value. Well, I don't actually know. I don't actually know what the sentence is willing to say me or tell me. So we're gonna just go ahead. Misunderstanding the power of context can lead us to design ineffective solutions to important problems. If your intuitions tell us that people do what they want, then one path to changing their behavior is obvious. You need to make people want the right things. If your intuition tells you that people do what they want, then one path to changing their behavior is obvious. You need to make people want the right things, which I think is even the case. I don't know if this is like a negative example right now, or if it is just really the case and they also believe in that. Well, I don't know. I just don't know. Hurricane Katrina. We've got to figure out some way to convince people that whenever warnings go out, it is for their own good. The main problem in Brown's mind was that people didn't want to leave, and so the solution is to persuade people more effectively the next time. This solution may create a great warning system that leaves just as many people stranded the next time. Many who stayed wanted desperately to leave but couldn't. They didn't need convincing, they needed a bus. You can see the offspring of this error in many well-meaning interventions. The poor making unwise financial choices. Roll out a financial literacy program to make their minds smarter. They didn't need convincing, they needed a bus. You can see the offspring of this error in many well-meaning interventions. The poor making unwise financial choices. Yes, indeed. I don't know. I think this is a really, really difficult subject. I think really is, because so many different reasons why it might be the case and stuff. And I think, I don't know. I think we're just also going to see that in the future as well. So I don't know. Much more effective for changing behavior is targeting the broader context rather than individual minds. Make it easy for people to do the things they already want to do. To keep people from littering, add additional trash cans and then pick up existing trash that otherwise makes it look like everyone else is littering. Is targeting the broader context rather than individual minds. Make it easy for people to do things they already want to do. Yeah, I mean it kind of indeed. I mean, if there's everywhere trash cans and I can just throw my shit everywhere and it just lands because of the mass of trash cans in the trash can, then it would be a good thing. If this is gonna work out, I don't really think so. But yeah. But I understand what he's referring to, or she is referring to, and I think he is referring to. Paying students and teachers for improved performance was completely ineffective. I see. This is, by the way, a really interesting one, because I know it's probably something that you've heard as well if you were a student, if you are still a student stuff. I know that people are like, just if I go to work, then I'm going to get paid and stuff and whatnot. And if I'm a student, then I'm not going to be paid. Yeah, but apparently it doesn't just change that much, so who gives a shit? Assuming that a person's mind corresponds directly to his or her actions misses the importance of context in shaping behavior. that a person's mind corresponds directly. Like, there's a lot of things that I just don't understand, which is a pity because I believe that they are pretty good. It's really a pity. It really indeed is a pity. As the number of bystanders increase, the likelihood that any one of them will help you actually decreases. The ideal number might be 2, one to help you and the other to call an ambulance. Yes, indeed. You know, the more people there are, the less likely it is that nobody's going to do anything, which is a really interesting thing. But I guess we're just doing what other people are doing, and we like to do what other people are doing. You know, and if other people are doing nothing, then I don't know, chances are also relatively high that we're going to do nothing. So yeah. The tools at our intuitive disposal are simplifying heuristics that give imperfect insight into the minds of others. The mistakes they lead to create predictable errors that keep us from perfect understanding. I don't get it, but you might get it. So it might be good. I guess it is good. I think even if I would just translate it, I wouldn't really kind of get it, I guess. Provide simple shortcuts for understanding the minds of others, but they come at the cost of oversimplifying them. Yes, definitely. And I think it is always the problem, whether it is about summarizing something that you've read, you know, and what it is about, I don't know, communicating, I think in general, what it is with written words, but I think predominantly when we think about written word, then oversimplifying things can really indeed that sound things different than you wanted them to sound, I would argue. After I mentioned that I'm working on a book about mind reading, my conversational partner assumes I'm writing about either body language, learning to read facial cues or physical gestures, or perspective taking, learning to imagine yourself in other person's situation. Which approach does the scientific evidence support? Neither. As interesting as it is, but for mind reading, my conversational partner assumes I'm writing about either body language, but why? You know, is this really about mind reading? Like, of course, it might be a reflection, but it's apparently just not backed by science anyway. So yeah, you know, so yeah. To predict how the storyteller was feeling at each moment, those who could only see the storyteller were significantly less accurate than those who could only hear the storyteller. Emotions were carried primarily on the speaker's voice, which I guess is often the case. You know, I think we just really can hear when somebody is not feeling good. We all can hear that, I guess. You know, we're actually pretty good at interpreting all those things and all those cues, if you will. Micro expressions, very brief flashes of emotion lasting less than 1/5 of a second and shown either on the entire face or just a small part of it. The scientific credibility of claims about micro expressions is currently weak at best. I don't know, I mean like there is the eyebrow flash, which is like hello and stuff and whatnot, but I don't know, I'm just not smiling and then just not, I don't know. But by the way, just because I've recognized it myself, if I smile, then I'm sounding differently. You know, of course I sound dumb, but but you know what I mean. I sound differently if I'm smiling, if I just have different emotions. But of course, if I'm sad, then I might be like this, and I might talk like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know, just based on the other point about the storyteller back then or just before. Blah, 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 blah. Most of us are better liars than we think we are. I mean, like, I don't really think that I'm a good liar, and I also don't like to lie. Perspective taking consistently decreased accuracy. Overthinking someone's emotional expression or inner intentions when there is little else to go on might introduce more errors than insight. Yeah. So maybe we shouldn't just be doing it, I guess. I assume. Maybe. But what is the best way to get someone a gift? The science is clear. You don't try to adopt another person's perspective and guess better. Instead, you adopt a different approach. You have to actually get the other person's perspective, and perhaps the only way to do this is to ask what they want or listen carefully while they drop hints and then give it to them. That turns out to be widely applicable wisdom. Yes, indeed, just fucking listen. It's always a good thing. It really always is a good thing. Listen, motherfucker. Nearly everything you know is secondhand, things you know only because someone told you. Yes. I think 95%. And the other 5% might be experience and stuff. And very niche things like, I don't know, what it is about some software that I don't know, nobody talks about. stuff like that. For example, I had to work on my diploma using software that just nobody was using. And I mean, I think the major part of it, I had to just kind of figure out how it is working and stuff like that. So yeah, this is, I think, knowledge that nobody told me, but I just figured out. The best predictor of empathetic accuracy appears to be verbal intelligence. Knowing others' minds requires asking and listening and not just reading and guessing. Yes, quite. Kinda quite, yeah. I mean, what I just think about, and I don't really know if this is what the author is referring to, but I mean, of course, you could just ask, well, how are you doing? I know you're doing fine. But if you don't want to, you could just, I don't know, you could try to see things. And I mean, if we know people very well, then we just know patterns, and we know how certain people are acting and what patterns they're using, how they communicate when they're feeling something. But you just really truly have to know a person then, and then you can actually indeed, I think, just read or listen and then guess. Quite. But of course, you could also be wrong. But I mean, then you're gonna say, okay, you just seem to be pretty sad, and the person might be like, no, I'm not, motherfucker. And then you're gonna be like, well, back up. Or something like that. I don't know. Could be the case. Who knows? Getting your partner's perspective by asking them directly works much better than taking your partner's perspective by using your imagination. Yeah. Always, I think. Getting people to tell you their minds is the best overall solution for understanding them. I would just also say, so like, I think ask in general is often, it's just often a good idea. Just ask. The main barrier to getting perspective is that others won't tell you what you would like to know. They lie, mislead, misdirect, avoid, or simply refuse to divulge the truth. The vast majority of these lies are told by a small number of chronic liars. Keep your cynicism in check. Many people will tell you the truth if you ask a direct question in a context where they feel at liberty to give an honest answer and you are open to hearing. Indeed. I think context is very important, and also how you ask the question, in which way, if how good you know the person, and just various different things. Like indeed various different things. The main reason people lie is to avoid being punished. Yes, and also judged, I would say. But you could just say that this is a form of punishment. Instead of pressuring subjects until they crack for intimidation, fear, and pain, the new and more effective interrogation approach is one that establishes rapport and reduces fears of punishment. People were more willing to admit to having done something immoral when confronted a few minutes after the event, when their fear had subsided a bit, than when questioned immediately after the incident. Yes, indeed. And I think it is even a more important point than this one there. If you just ask the question in a way that you sound that you're not gonna punish the person. I mean, if you ask like, have you once eaten chocolate but you weren't allowed to? Because I have done this as well and stuff, then you just show the person that it is fine, you're okay with it. And so the other person is probably then gonna be like, well, yes, I did, or just, no, I don't like chocolate or something else, or just, no, I don't like just doing those things, But if you just ask them, they're probably gonna say no and stuff. But if you feel a connection, if they feel that you're kind of quote unquote the same, then I think it is something different, But no, not only that, I think just showing that you're not gonna punish them is a really good approach. It makes no more sense for a pollster to ask you why you're voting for someone. It makes no more sense for a pollster to ask you why you're voting for someone than it does for a doctor to ask you why you're feeling sick. And so pollsters instead ask about what people think. I don't fucking get that. But indeed, I mean, doctor asking you why you feel sick, like, I don't know, tell me, motherfucker. You're the guy, or girl, gal, whatever. People know their feelings right now more accurately than they can project what they'll be feeling months from now. Generally, focus questions on the present rather than the future. Getting perspective fails if your direct questions turn speculative. Yeah. If you have to reiterate someone else's point to their satisfaction, then you'll find out if you've understood. I see. If I understand it correctly, it's then gonna be like, if I've understood you correctly, you mean this and that and these and those. And if they say no, not really, then finally you just probably know the whole thing. But if they say, yes, yes, indeed, then everything is fine. People know their feelings. Oh, I've read that. Understanding, oh, we have finished. I didn't assume that. Understanding other people requires getting their perspective and then verifying that you have understood it correctly. Which is, I think, just the thing that I've been referring to, I guess. Technique for creating fast friends is to have two strangers disclose private thoughts or memories to each other. What does disclose mean? But I would just agree, but I just need to know what disclose means. What means disclose? Reveal, make known, divulge, tell, impart. Private thoughts and memories. Yes, indeed. I would say it's like if it is just some surface level conversation, then this, I don't know. But the question is like, I think making yourself vulnerable is often also a good idea to just start the whole process. I just have to think. Because I would say, it depends on the person though. I mean, if you just then only talk about yourself and your experiences and whatnot and just stuff and blah blah bloop, then I don't know. It's not good. People like to talk about themselves, but not only, I guess. But it still also depends on the person. Yeah. Be a little bit more open, sharing things, saying things. Yeah, I guess. Even though, like, just, I don't know, like, being vulnerable as well, I do understand that some people don't want to have that and don't want to do that. Just because per se being vulnerable is not a good thing. But on the other hand, it is like, yeah. The secret to understanding each other better seems to come not through an increased ability to read body language or improved perspective taking, but rather through the hard relational work of putting people in a position where they can tell you their minds openly and honestly. Yeah. I mean, if it is a really easy place to just talk about how you feel and talk about your thoughts, your just all those things, yeah. I mean, I think it is also just some exponential thing. Like, I think the more you know a person, the more you're gonna know the person in the future. In terms of like, yeah, I don't know. It's complicated, I think, Even though, like, I think you just can know a person to 80% relatively fast. The other 20%, which is the little tiny details that you may not even just really care about, or the other person also might not be really caring about, then yeah, like, yeah, then you just know the person pretty well. And I guess this is done relatively quickly. The question now is how to get into such a deep conversation, in such a position to be like, well, this is what I think and this is what you think, and we may or may not be similar. Like, who cares? But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the episode there. We've finished, which is something that's pretty interesting. I unfortunately didn't get too much out of it. I believe that it is a good book, and it is rated 10 out of 10 by Derek Sivers, so I also believe that it is a good one. But on the other hand, I don't know. It's problematic if you don't understand everything that is referenced in a book or talked about in a or the book. So strange and problematic and stuff. But yeah, the question of today is gonna be, do you believe that you could say something to a person and really make their day? And if you could, and if you know a person and whatnot, then why don't you do that? Yes. But yeah, anyway, I am gonna see the next time, at least hope so. Yes. I wish you the best. I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person, and then also being remembered as a nice person. I'm super happy to record those episodes. Like, they're really fun, and just the last days, they really have been fun. Also, just being able to talk about these things that I'm having in my mind, and that, I don't know, like, I think it is a good way to just get rid of ideas and get rid of things, as Seth Godin also talks about it. But yeah, anyway, 3 other questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea. Well, yeah, I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.